So as I said, I'm going to do a couple shorts today. This is number one of them, and I wanted to take the time to talk about the 75 Democrats who voted to praise ICE. This is while ICE is violating people's Fifth Amendment rights and deporting legal documented immigrants as well as undocumented immigrants. Um, I try to make the distinction between using the word legal and illegal. I don't call any immigrants illegal. Um, I mean, obviously, it's illegal to sneak in through open border, but most undocumented immigrants are here undocumented because of a lapse in documentation, meaning they were here legally, or they're waiting approval, or they were stripped of their documentation, as we've seen under Trump. He has stripped legal status for many refugees. Um, yeah, one of the things that hasn't been covered lately is that 75 Democrats voted with Republicans on I guess it's a resolution, it's not actual legislation, um, to praise ICE. There was something else in there about anti Semitism. I mean, all these people, all these Democrats that voted to uh, condemn anti Semitism, at least most of them receive money from Israeli lobbies, from AIPAC and other ones. Um, there's an overlap here. A lot of these 75 have voted for Trump's agenda and Republican bills in the past that I think, as a Democrat, or I will say as a liberal or left winger, you cannot, you can't, you can't condone it. You can't. I'm at a loss for words today, which is how ridiculous it is. um, yeah, you can't say it's okay. There's an overlap though, where a lot of those 75 are the ones who, Henry Cuellar, for example, he's one of the last Democrats in the House who is anti-choice. He's also anti-gun control. A lot of these Democrats have voted to arm Israel. They voted to sanction the International Criminal Court for putting out a warrant on Netanyahu. These are the type of Democrats who are pro-corruption. They have voted against banning insider trading. They have voted against increasing corporate taxes. They have voted against public option healthcare, or expanding healthcare as we know it. They have voted against increasing minimum wage. They're not on our side. These are the type of Democrats that I say it matters who. You can't just vote blue. In reference to the blue no matter who crowd. You're blue MAGA. If you're in favor of voting for those people, you're basically saying you would vote for Trump, or certain Republicans at least, if they were a Democrat. It's just about winning to you. It's just about party affiliation. To me, like many Americans, it's about actual works. It's about actually helping people directly. That is what brought us Trump in 2016 and 2024. The reason he won is because Democrats did not do enough under Obama, and they did not do enough under Biden. Biden ran on increasing minimum wage. He ran on price caps on pharmaceuticals. They got some through, but not nearly what they tried to do. And it was only for people on Medicare. People like Joe Manchin and others voted against it. They had to dial back the bill. They had to make it much smaller. Same thing with Build Back Better. As I said, on increasing minimum wage to $15 an hour, there were 8 Democrats who voted against that. Manchin and Tester are no longer there. I'm talking at the Senate. Manchin, Tester, and Sinema are no longer there. Shaheen, Hassan, or Hassan, I think her name is, they're in New Hampshire. They're still in office. I think they're both retiring, though. And then there was a couple others, I think, from Delaware. Of course, Joe Biden couldn't even get his own Delaware senators on his side. These people are not on our side, and voting for them shows that, Democrats actually aren't going to do anything for us. So this is a pretty big deal. A handful of them just voted to pass a cryptocurrency bill that basically legalizes Trump's crypto fraud. He has his own cryptocurrency now, and it is a scam. Needless to say, one of the people I interviewed, I asked a question at a town hall, Ruben Gallego, senator of Arizona. He voted for it. Cory Booker, after that long grandstand of a speech that everybody was praising, he voted for that crypto bill. a lot of these people have voted to approve a lot of Trump's cabinet picks. Needless to say, if you pay attention, you know that I believe it was 99 senators out of 100 voted to approve Marco Rubio's nomination as Secretary of State. I just don't get why people think there doesn't need to be a line in the sand. What is it, 90%? If they're voting for any more than 90% of Republican legislation or siding with Republicans more than 90% of the time, is that the line? What about 85? What about 50? For me, it just really depends on what it is. And it's hard to say what I'm in favor of voting for a Democrat for if they're still, what I'm willing to excuse. But I'll tell you right now, voting to praise ICE, arming Israel, doing shit like that, no. I can deal with Ruben Gallego voting for the Lake and Riley Act to some extent because he's an Arizona senator. That was the bill that I asked him about that abolishes due process, the Fifth Amendment for immigrants. To some extent, I get where he's coming from, that he felt he needed to vote for that. At the same time, morality is morality. If you were in a state that was anti-abortion, I don't think one exists, that was a majority anti-abortion, you're going to be anti-choice? You're going to be in favor of banning abortion? If you were in a state where they were 100% in favor of arming Israel, are you going to be in favor of arming Israel? Because if that's the case, I don't think you should be funded by the Democratic Party. Go run as a fucking Republican. Go run as an independent. I don't care. People see it as winning and losing, some of these people that say blue no matter who. That's why I call them blue MAGA. It matters. It very clearly matters. I had a conversation with someone yesterday who said they'll never vote for Fetterman again. I agree, I won't. But then they go, well, he won't get past the primary. And I go, what if he does? Are you changing your stance? You're going to vote for him? I'd rather see a Republican win. I mean, I wouldn't want to see a Republican win, but I'd rather see the Democratic Party learn their lesson. It seems they might do that in New York City because Cuomo is about to lose to a socialist. If all things are, if they stay on this path, Zoran Mamdani, I believe I'm saying his name correctly. I'll get it down one of these days if I didn't. He's running on a very populist left-wing platform, and Cuomo is sliding in the polls. I believe Mamdani is up 1 point as of yesterday or the day before in a poll that we saw that was released. I'm seeing people come out in favor of primarying Chuck Schumer. I'm seeing a primary candidate already for Fetterman. That's not until 2028. I think Schumer's not till 2028 or 2032 even. I'd have to check, or 2030. I don't know. But you get what I'm saying. These people cannot be enabled. That's what you're doing when you're going to say you'll vote for a Democrat that does this crap, the 75 that praised ICE. It's not okay.